all about training the youth, teaching the youth. Teaching the youth about environmental stewardship, getting them to learn about the preservation and the conservation of pollinators, letting them learn about the promoting biodiversity. It has teaching them about an entrepreneurial option. It's a form of income generation. Beekeeping is a form of income generation as well. And it also has the educational value to it, where teaching youth the art of beekeeping, teaching them the impact of honeybees in the world. And also, it's just about positive youth engagement as well, guiding them along, a good career path, a good option, and all about personal growth, teaching them new things. Beekeeping also has the value-added products, and these products includes things like, candles. You can make candles from the wax. You could also make lip balm. You could make soaps, and even body butter. Hair products. A lot of products can be made from the wax, and the youth didn't only learn about producing honey, they learned also how to make the value-added products. And by so doing, it's a form of teaching them how to generate income for themselves and adding positively to the economy of Tobago.
Beekeeping is only one of the many activities that the Youth Club has embarked on for the year and is set to have continuous activities throughout the year. I'm Crystal George for Let's Talk Tobago.
When you think of a true volunteer, who comes to mind? Well, for us, we have to give that title to Tess Mohammed, a seamstress with decades of knowledge who loves sharing it with others. Here's the story.
Tess Mohammed has been in the garment construction industry for over 50 years. Her roles ranged from professional seamstress to garment construction educator at various levels, as well as external verifier with the National Training Agency for CVQ in schools. Since November last year, Ms. Mohammed hosted a free sewing class for interested persons in Mount St. George. And that's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to her community volunteerism efforts.
I grew up with this. Ever since I know myself, I did voluntary work for the YMCA, for the Salvation Army, adult classes, in the library in Roxborough, teaching the students in August, little sewing aids and all that. So I've been doing this all the time. It feels good to give back. I had 15 high-energy women. They were soaking up everything I taught them like a sponge. And in class, they would, even if I go with the basic, they would say, oh gosh, miss, how you cut this and how you cut that and how to do this, and they always do the questions. And I'm thinking in my mind, it's just a basic course, you didn't reach that level yet, so kind of cool it. But then before you know it, they go home and they do research until they go on YouTube and they come back with the finished product. So I don't give myself that credit. They were so interested. They were soaking up everything like a sponge. And that made me feel motivated as a tutor. This is the beginning of things now. Once I have good health, I will spread this to other villages, because I realize that with the economy as it is, we need to, women especially, even housewives, they need to empower themselves with a skill. If they're not doing it commercially, at least they could do it for their families, and it would be a big thing, a big saving. As I said, I'm semi-retired because I'm still doing school uniforms. So I would like to share my knowledge, because I think the graveyard is one of the richest places in earth, because people die with all their knowledge and skills. A lot of people without sharing it. And I get a lot of joy and fulfillment when I share my knowledge. At this time, because the people who taught me at John Day and all, they spend their time to teach me, and I should pay it forward.
I'm Amadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
We'll take a short break right now, but much more Let's Talk when we return. Stay close. Did you know that Tobago's first FM frequency radio station was established 25 years ago? That's right. Tambourine Radio 92.7 FM was established on June 8, 1998, and since then has been pioneering the way as Awi Radio. Here's more.
25 years, Silver Jubilee, congratulations.
Wake Up Tobago family, extended program this morning. No problem, no problem. We jamming, we pumping all day, we celebrating. So it's really a dream come true, and I must thank the manager and of course the brilliant ideas behind this station for giving us the opportunity, the voice, the platform to express ourselves and to showcase our talent. And I must say kudos to George and his wife Carol and to the entire management and staff. You know, it's been a pleasure working with them for the past 25 years. I do what I love. I enjoy doing it every single day, coming out, putting my feelings behind and try to make others feel happy.
I gotta say thanks to everyone who've been listening and keep on listening, and we're gonna try to do our great job, you know. We'll see how it is with it.
25 years is a long time, and Radio Tambourine will be that institution that it is, you know. That conversation between George and Carol Leacup, the management of Radio Tambourine, is one that gave Tobagonian the opportunity to grow. And, you know, every step of the way, every move that I make in the station, I was supported by the management and staff of Radio Tambourine. I'm grateful for that. And one of the things that, you know, outstanding in Radio Tambourine is that togetherness. The management, the approach of the management, some people not seem to understand it. But when your whole life is based on something that you built from ground, you need to protect it.
I feel very good, and being a part of it, I mean, that it's phenomenal. 25 years, and I have been in the engine room. Mr. Leacock has been the face. That's the reason why. I'm the voice.
That's a bad choice in terms of the face part of it, right?
They gave me the hardest job to do, which is actually to keep Tambourine afloat. So, you know, by the end of the day, with his support, we've been able to do it.
Thanks for the support over the 25 years, and we're still here. We're still getting up early in the morning. Earlier in the morning that we like to get up to come and do it, and so that must mean we enjoyed it.
In this next story, we'll tell you how this lone Tobagonian prepared for his trip to Germany to participate in the International Special Olympics 2023.
To go out and do his best were the words that both DeAndre's mother Vanessa and coach Stefan about the Special Olympians' trip to compete. While in Germany, he will be taking part in the mini javelin and long jump events. And this is how he prepared for the task ahead.
The training has been for approximately 3 months, 2 days per week. The training has been progressing well. At first he may have a little hiccups in terms of learning these basic skill sets of javelin, but then eventually he got through to them, and now he's doing pretty well and he's ready for the games to the best of my ability, I believe so.
All I ask is that he does his very best. If he gets a goal out of his very best, I'm very happy with that.
Excited to be competing, a confident DeAndre wants to say thank you to a few people.
I thank my family, my friends, myself, and my coaches, everybody that's fought with me. Thank you.
I'm Crystal George for Let's Talk Tobago.
The Commonwealth Youth Games is just weeks away, and Ryan McCool tells us all we need to know to get involved. Here's more.
So we just saw the completion of a wonderful Rainbow Cup triathlon. It's returned to Tobago, and the athletes they gave their all. So we're here at the Commonwealth booth because the triathlon is one of the major events taking place in Tobago in August for the Commonwealth Youth Games Tobago 2023.
Tobago 2023, less than 2 months, 5 weeks to go. it's all happening, and today we are very glad to be here to showcase the booth. Everybody learning about the Commonwealth, as well as Tobago 2023 Youth Games, ages 14 to 18. And while we are here at Turtle Beach, we can see just beyond Black Rock as well, where volleyball is going to take place, as well as we know that the venue for triathlon will be Buku.
This morning we are here to promote Destination Tobago because, as you know, some of the Commonwealth Games will be taking place in Tobago. So we are partnered with the Commonwealth team, and we are just here promoting Tobago and reminding them that Tobago is part of sports tourism.
Sensitizing young people that sport is an option, and to make more inspire and empower them to also volunteer. Volunteering is still open, so please go to Tobago 2023 on the website, fill out the form, come and volunteer, learn something about, meet new people, and be part of this games. Because this games is 71 countries from all over the world. We have lots of people to engage with, lots of things to learn, and we're just waiting for you to come be a sport ambassador as part of the whole game.
It's all about Tobago 2023, and if you see how people have been enjoying today's triathlon, you could only look forward to greater, bigger and better things in August when we have the Commonwealth Youth Games taking place. So remember, if you haven't volunteered as yet, you still have some time. So go on the Facebook page, go on the website, as the president of the TTOC said, and register, become a volunteer, right? It's all about the Commonwealth Youth Games. You don't want to miss this one.
And that's a wrap. We've come to the end of yet another episode of Let's Talk Tobago. For more of our content, you can follow us on our social media platforms. You can also visit our website at www.tha.gov.tt. I'm Patricia Nicholson-Richards, and on behalf of all of us at the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly, thank you so much for viewing, and see you soon.
You're watching Let's Talk Tobago.
We're living this church. Wherever you are, I need you to put your hands on it like this. Come on. Yup. Everybody climb like this, y'all. Like this, y'all. We wanna see you. Yeah, Lord. So open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Just open the eyes of my heart, 'cause I wanna see you. Say I wanna see you. Just open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart, 'cause I wanna see you. That's our heart today. I wanna see you. Wherever you are, let's raise it together. Come on, say it. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I wanna see. Come on, if you want to see him in the midst of the noise, in the midst of the chaos. I wanna see. Come on, just ask him today. Oh, 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 say open the eyes. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. I wanna see it like you see it. Open the eyes of my heart. I wanna see you. Say I wanna see you. Let's go. To see you. To see you high and lifted up. Shining in the light. Shining in the light of your glory. Just pour out, oh God, your power and love. As we sing you. Holy, holy, he's a holy God. To see you high and lifted up. Shining in the light of your glory. This nation, we need you to pour. This world needs you to pour, God. Let's do it again. Put your hands on. Come on. Woo. Come on, wherever you are, clap those hands. If you want to see him, everybody clap, clap, clap your heart's desire, God. We just want you and only you. All over the world, let's sing it together. Say, open So open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Just open the eyes of my heart. 'Cause I need like never before. I need to see you. Our prayer today is that you would open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart, 'cause I wanna see you. Stay right there. I wanna see you. Come on in your homes, tell them. I wanna see you. The hope of glory. I wanna see you. Jehovah Jireh. I wanna see you. Come on, talk to him. I wanna see you. Say, I wanna see you. You're what we want, oh God, and I wanna see you. Say, I wanna see you. Give us your eyes today, God. Give us your view today. Give us your perspective today. Help us to see through your lens today, oh God. Help us to see that everything is gonna be alright, and I wanna see you. I wanna, oh God, say I wanna see you. Lift those hands right here. Say I wanna see you.
I am the messenger, the messenger. I can't think of a time or a day or a minute that I don't go down on my knees and put Jesus in it. Sinful nature have me feeling so weak, emotionally. Feels like I'm sinking, never to rise no more. Father, yesterday, today, forever. You never change, you never change, you never rearrange. Omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient. Without you in my life, what I go
morning, good morning, put a smile on put a smile on your face and move to place. Good morning, good
morning show. And we are new. This is a new day for Tobago Updates. Well, at least us here on the Youth Wednesdays morning show. Welcome to Tobago Updates Television. And I'm joined with
Luke Trim, and good morning to everyone, our viewers. Yes, so those of you viewing us at home, those of you tuning in to us as you tune in on the radio, thank you so much for choosing Tobago Updates to start your morning on the right note. And yes, viewers, this is the first Youth Wednesday, so since we officially launched Tobago Updates Television, and we're so happy to be here. We're so thankful to you, the viewers, who have been with us through this entire journey, and it's only up from here. Once again, I'm Luke Trim.
And I am Kelly Lewis. Tobago. Good morning, viewers. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. As we are the first Youth Wednesday show on television, I'm just very thankful for the opportunity to Tobago Updates Television. It's been a journey, and we just want to be thankful, mighty God, for everything that we have. Is that right?
Yes. Justice here this morning. I just want to remind our viewers on the varying platforms on which you are viewing us this morning. We're on MTV, Kyle, Smash Radio, YouTube, Facebook, and the new added channel on Amplia TV, channel 102. Welcome and good morning. So guys, what has been happening over the weekend? I heard that some of us, a few of us, took it upon ourselves to journey to a particular place and have a wonderful time. Care to share about that, Kaylee?
Oh well, my my weekend was something to talk about. I mean, I have some friends. We journeyed to this style, and we had quite a bit of fun. We pretended to be Jamaicans, so we weren't ourselves.
Wow.
We went to a new destination, and we were completely different persons. And one of us celebrated a birthday,
yes,
an early birthday.
I saw some clippings, and that person seemed so happy, and they happened to message me and tell me, Dane, it really wasn't my birthday, but I still enjoyed the cake, and they sang lustily for him, I was speechless. I never see the man blush. So
oh yes, he was
do you know who that
like
person
that?
is?
I wonder who that person is, guys. But yes, this weekend was really, really fun. It was to just do something new and be fun and quirky and just not care about anything. But viewers, enough of all long and interesting weekend. We're gonna head over to news in 90 seconds with Kaylee Lewis.
Thank you, Dwayne and Luke. And here is your news in 90 seconds for Wednesday, 21st June 2023, brought to you by Coconuts Cafe, located ground floor, Port Mall, Scarborough. A According to Section 49.5 of the THA Act 1996, the fiscal package for Tobago's governance must be presented, debated and passed by the Assembly before the end of the third quarter of the financial year. This means that the budget is required to be passed by June 30th annually. It was expected that due to these legal stipulations, that a budget day would have been announced and listed on the order paper for the next sitting of the Assembly. However, when the order paper was issued by the Clerk of the House for the next sitting on Thursday, June 22nd, there was still no confirmation on budget day. Following a public meeting which featured Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley in Calder Hall on Labor Day, the Tobago Council of the People's National Movement is set to host another public meeting in Charlottesville on Thursday, 22nd, with the PNM Tobago Council political leader Ansel Dennis as the featured speaker. The intention to begin these meetings were previously promised by Dennis. The launch of the public meetings by the PNM Tobago Council is a similar strategy of the opposition UNC in Trinidad, who has held weekly Monday night meetings outside of an election season. The Commonwealth Youth Games 2023 will be held in Trinidad and Tobago from August 4th to 11th. There's a call by the organizing committee for young persons to become sports ambassadors during the games. As a sports ambassador, individuals will be the face of the games, and as a volunteer, individuals will be engaged in the logistics of the games. This is an opportunity to represent our country and to showcase our talents and hospitality. And that was your news in 90 seconds, brought to you by Coconuts Cafe.
Coconuts Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes. For breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti, served with chokers, buljoil, and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie, and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads, and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules or if you are having a cooking day off.
Thank you, Kaylee, for news in 90 seconds. And this morning's birthday is again sponsored by KFC.
This is your birthday shoutouts on Tobago Updates, sponsored by KFC.
First up this morning, we have June James Abraham. She's celebrating her 60th birthday. So we want to send birthday greetings going out to you, Miss June James Abraham. And this is coming from Dexter Abraham. Yeah, Dexter Abraham. So happy birthday to you, June James Abraham.
Right, next we have Miss Jimmy Sylvester. Happy birthday goes out to you from Tobago Updates. Looking lovely in your black and yellow. All right, who do we have next?
And the last on all this, we're sending out happy birthdays to Sulan Alexander Felix. A happy birthday to you, and I hope you enjoy your day today.
Birthday shoutouts on Tobago Updates, sponsored by KFC.
From the experts that created the Zinger sandwich comes the KFC Crispy Barbecue Zinger. Cheddar cheese, crispy onions, the most delicious Kentucky Fried Chicken, and barbecue sauce. Get ready for a whole new level of flavor.
And we have an anniversary this morning. This morning, Dexter and June Abraham James. Dexter Abraham and June James Abraham, is celebrating their 20th wedding anniversary. Looking lovely guys, and what an inspiration to us young people to have wonderful family and togetherness. Happy anniversary to you guys. And bottoms up from Tobago Updates.
All right, so viewers, we have to give you the rundown today. So firstly, we will be diving into the political arena as usual as we bring on Minority Councillor, that's Miss Petal Daniel Benoit, as we discuss the political climate here in Tobago. Next, we will be bringing on Reverend Belinda Manswell Danielle as we speak about everything Mango fundraiser, and we have much more for you here on Tobago Update. So don't go anywhere yet, guys. How are you feeling about today's segment?
I'm excited. It's a new day.
It's a new day. It's a new thing. It's a new week. And once again, we're on Tobago Updates television. So viewers, once again, just stick with us on the journey. Vibe with us this morning, and we're gonna be heading over to Tobago in focus. But just remember to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Mediation is used as an alternative to litigation through the use of an impartial moderator and communication and negotiation techniques. The Division of Health, Wellness and Social Protection established its mediation unit in 2009 and has steadily expanded. The unit, equipped with 2 certified mediators, has since settled several matters, including landlord and tenant issues, merchant-customer disputes, property and land, parenting, and even issues regarding the running of traditional susus. Assistant Coordinator at the Mediation Unit, Carol Spencer Edwards, further explains.
We deal with family and relationship disputes, neighborhood conflicts, community disputes, juvenile conflicts. So the range of issues are there, and as I said, we try to offer persons that option as against going to the court.
Ms. Spencer Edwards revealed a high success rate between 70 and 75%, noting that a large part of the unit's success lies with the process, as persons are allowed to speak freely in a safe and comfortable environment.
Quite often the issues that they deal with or that they're dealing with is not out of the ballpark. It's just that maybe sometimes not able to sit and express themselves. And sometimes you need somebody there to say, here's what, let's start with, or hold up, give her a minute, or hold up, give him a minute.
The recent addition of a therapeutic counseling unit manned by 8 counselors has further expanded services, including a crisis hotline, parenting workshop, grief counseling, life skill coaching, marriage counseling, and learning enrichment programs. Services can be accessed through its walk-in services or by referral.
And we're back here on the Youth Wednesday show here at Tobago Updates. Now, the controversial Audiogate scandal has resulted in concerned citizens calling on the Chief Secretary, led by Fali Augustine administration, to demit office. Joining us this morning as we touch a bit more on that topic is none other than the Minority Councillor, Mrs. Petal Daniel Benoit. A special morning to you, and how are you doing?
I am wonderful. Good morning, Luke. It's good to be here. Good morning to your viewing and listening audience. And congratulations again to Tobago Updates on your becoming a full-fledged station on Amplius. So good morning, Trinidad and Tobago.
Thank you once again, Councillor, and it's really nice to have you here on the Youth Wednesday show. I don't think we've ever had you here on the Youth Wednesdays.
No, I have never been on the Youth Wednesday show, so it's really a pleasure to be here this morning.
All right, pleasure to have you. So, recently we would have seen that a march would have taken place against whatever we are seeing here in Tobago. It was led by minority leader Kelvin Morris. We had our political leader for the PNM, that's Mr. Ansel Dennis, and other members of who support the PNM party. They would have joined that march against whatever's happening here in the political space in Tobago. So tell us a bit more about that.
Okay, so that march was hosted by concerned citizens of Tobago, and I think we would have seen some of the forerunners to that organization speaking on television. So what they were attempting to, or what they did rather, was to speak out against all that has been happening on the island. And I think what brought the straw that brought the camel's back was the whole Audiogate release of that audio recording. And they are concerned about governance in Tobago. They are concerned about corruption. They are concerned about how this administration is managing the affairs of governance on this island. So, as a minority, we also agree with some of the things or some of the concerns that they shared, so we decided to join the march with concerned citizens. So yes, you would have seen the minority leader present, you would have seen the political leader of the Tobago Council, you would have seen other persons from the People's National Movement, but you would have also seen, there were also concerned citizens there, and some of the faces were very unfamiliar, unassociated in terms of organization or political affiliation, but they would have experienced some sort of pain, some sort of hurt. They would have shared the concerns and they felt the need to come and support the march.
All right, Councillor, and you would have touched that we would have seen unfamiliar faces, some faces that we would have seen very boldly in the Tobago space that would have supported the administration that's currently governing the island, but now we are seeing them here expressing their dissatisfaction with what they are seeing with the governance on the island here in Tobago. But when you look in the space on the ground, when you listen to what people are saying on the ground, a lot of people are of the belief that when you look at the past administration, that they were allegedly engaging in corruption, they were allegedly not governing the island well, that would have led to the end for the 21 years. And people are now asking, what moral ground does the supporters of the past administration have to now speak out against what they are seeing here in Tobago? We really need to address that.
Okay. Well, the Chief Secretary would have made some claims after Tobago. All of Trinidad and Tobago would have waited over 24 days to hear what was the real thing behind this audio gate. And the Chief Secretary claimed that the past administration would have engaged in similar activities in the past. And I am sure all of Tobago would have heard the political leader of the PNM indicating that no such occurrences would have happened under the PNM. And if it is that the Chief Secretary would have found or seen corruption or there's evidence of corruption, then there's a way to deal with that. Take your evidence to the relevant authorities, be it the police, be it the Integrity Commission, but take your findings to the relevant authorities so it can be addressed. And the people of Tobago dealt with the PNM on December 6, 2021. And this administration came into governance with an overwhelming support, 14-1. And they came with the promise that they will fix it. So all that was supposedly wrong, they will make right. So to say that I am currently engaging in conspiracy because it is my belief that the past administration would have done it is not acceptable. You promised to fix it, and Tobago bought into that promise, but to date, we have not seen where this administration is fixing anything.
All right, Councillor. So with that response, are you of the belief that the current administration is still campaigning in a time where governance of the island of Tobago is needed?
Of course, because if you listen to the audio gate, it was clear that a voice sounding like the Chief Secretary would have indicated, we don't want to stop the campaigning. We don't want to stop the campaigning and switch it off and switch it back on coming closer to the election. So we are saying to this administration, one, that you fool the people. And I want to go back to the social contract that was spoken about on the campaign trail. And one of the things in the social contract is that they promise to lead with diligence and honesty and to have a zero tolerance for corruption, nepotism and wastage, and to responsibly use state resources and privileges. What we have heard on the audio tape goes contrary to this social contract. And it is quite disappointing. It is disheartening. it is obscene, it is vexing, because at a time where this administration is saying that they don't have sufficient financial resources to do things that are required, we are seeing this kind of wastage. It is obscene. And we are asking you to do the moral thing, do the legal thing, because this issue seems not only to be moral, but it is also appears to be illegal, because we have a situation now where both the police and the Integrity Commission has confirmed that this matter is seeking their attention, and they have started investigations into the matter. So it is concerning for all of Tobago that senior officials in government, senior officials in the Tobago House of Assembly is under such serious suspicions and allegations and is being investigated by two major authorities of Trinidad and Tobago.
Wow, Councillor, wow. And we know this line, we know this quote, politics has a morality of its own. And when you look on television, on Netflix, you know, Designated Survivors, those types of political shows, you will see instances like this where in a political party where conspiracy is involved, where it's even reached the point where police is investigating the administration, we quickly see them either resign to keep their reputation intact. We either see the people who voted them in protesting outside, but the politics in Tobago is different from what we see on TV, what we see in the US. So my question now is, do you really think that the current administration demitting office is needed, or is it that we want to see them taking accountability for their actions instead of casting the blame to what happened in the past or to bypass accountability?
Of course, what we want to see, it's twofold, because if it is that they are found wanting, then they should be held accountable and based on their own standards, because the Chief Secretary indicated again in the campaign that we all of Tobago should hold him to a higher standard. And if anyone is found in corruption or misdoing, then they will be removed from the Executive Council. And if we are to hold the Chief Secretary, and even the Chief Secretary has to hold himself to his own words, then by right, he should step aside and wait for the conclusion of the investigation. If he is cleared, then by so means. But the administration should be held accountable. And the Chief Secretary also, in his comments to the public on Friday, and even prior to that at their public town hall meeting at Fairfield Complex, the Chief Secretary would have appeared to implicate his entire executive. Because if you listen to the video recording, we would have heard two voices that sound familiar to us, that of the Chief Secretary and that of the Secretary of Education. You would have heard that there may be another voice. So even if you sum it up, you would have heard like three voices. But with the utterances of the Chief Secretary, he would have indicated that his entire executive will be exonerated. Trinidad and Tobago was not aware that his entire executive was in this meeting conspiring to use public funds for their own private and political use. But the Chief Secretary would have implicated his entire executive. And as a result, his entire executive is now held accountable for what is happening. And we are asking that it is time. It is time to do the right thing based on your own words. We are asking you to step aside. Allow the people of Tobago to choose who they think is best to lead Tobago at this time.
All right, Councillor, so we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back from that break, we're going to speak a bit more about this whole conspiracy thing, so we're going to get into that. So viewers, just stick with us. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up and look, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to the And once again, they better look out below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look out below, 'cause this is your show.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Back viewers, I'm continuing our conversations with Minority Councillor where we'll be getting into this conspiracy. So conspiracy, a lot of people are a bit confused about what the meaning is. So for our viewers and listeners, please let us know what, in a political view, what does conspiracy mean and how does it tie into what we're seeing right now?
Okay. So we would have had this discussion last night on the Minority Report, and the definition of conspiracy, is that it occurs when two or more people agree to commit an illegal act and take some steps towards its completion. Conspiracy is a crime because it does not require that the illegal act actually have been completed. So if you sit and you plan, notwithstanding that you may not have had the opportunity to execute the plan, it's still conspiracy. And what the Chief Secretary, based on the audio tape, we would have heard a plan being hatched. We would have also heard that there may have been steps towards implementing the plan, because the voices would have said that 13 persons were employed and they came through a particular individual, and all we need is 7 more. So it means that some persons were hired to spread propaganda, and it was also indicated that they could use their own personal profiles or that of a fake profile. And the Chief Secretary saying on Friday, after we would have waited for such a long time for a response from him, that they would have planned and it would have been a strategic plan. But the mere fact that we did not see it implemented was them having some sort of moral compass. But I want to tell the Chief Secretary this morning that based on the audio recording, it was not only a plan, but we would have heard that you would have started implemented that plan. And based on what conspiracy is, it does not necessarily require that you implement the plan, but once 2 or more people sit to conspire or plan an illegal act, it is conspiracy.
Understood, Councillor. And the funny thing with this situation is that from your end, it's being called a conspiracy, but from the Chief Secretary, we're hearing calling it strategy, in which he was exploring all the options, even some of the strategies his opponents would have used or is currently using. And the notable issue with the recording is that names would have been called, names we are familiar with, but then Chief Secretary Fali Augustine would have dismissed it, saying that although they would have discussed the strategy, it was not followed through. So the question now is the onus now on the minority to prove that the plan was followed through, or is that something that we need to wait for the police to investigate?
Yes, I don't think it is the minority's responsibility to prove what has happened. The information is in the public domain, and it is the work of the investigating authorities, both the police service as well as the Integrity Commission. But more than that, Luke, one of the things that was said is that persons were to engage in lucrative employment through the assembly to spread propaganda. Lucrative employment through the Tobago House of Assembly to spread propaganda. And again, propaganda is information, especially that of a biased nature, which is misleading and is used to promote a political cause or point of view. So you are spreading propaganda, you're not engaging persons to do meaningful work of the assembly. But what we are saying and what we heard from the video recordings is that you want to engage persons, pay them lucratively to spread propaganda for your own political and personal gain because you do not want to stop politicking. And if that is not conspiracy, by their own admission and by the admission of the Chief Secretary, that the entire Executive Council was a part of this plan, I don't know what is. And even when you look to the Integrity in Public Life Act, persons such as the Chief Secretary and the Secretary of Education are individuals considered to be in public life. And all of us, all parliamentarians, assemblymen, councillors, we are considered to be under the ambits of the Integrity in Public Life Act. And what the Integrity in Public Life Act does, it prohibits individual in public life from using his office for the improper advancement of his own personal financial interests or family interest. So what we heard, to me, goes against all the tenets of the Integrity in Public Life Act, even the Prevention of Corruption Act. So it appears as if the Chief Secretary, the Secretary of Education, and the entire Executive Council of the Tobago House of Assembly has questions to answer.
All right, Councillor. Wow. And we need to touch on this issue with when it comes to Chief Secretary Fadi Augustine. Now, in the past, we would have seen that he would have come to the public and spewed facts to the media, alleged facts to the media about, for example, the zipline project, the assembly not having any funds when they came into office, and all other sorts of issues that would have been caused by the past administration. Now, we haven't seen any confirmed yet, but now in this space, we are seeing that the people that used to believe everything that came out of Chief Secretary Fadi Augustine, we are now seeing that when he comes to the media after the AudioGate scandal, people are taking things with a grain of salt in local terms. In local terms, they're taking things with a grain of salt. So the question now, are you of the belief that most of the issues that Chief Secretary Fadi Augustine would have raised in the past when it comes to the past administration was just propaganda, or was it actual fact? I think this is a question that is being spurred in this space.
No, but the Chief Secretary would have waved a brown envelope throughout the entire THA election campaign in 2021. And you are saying facts, but we have not seen any evidence of what the Chief Secretary would have purported. Because if there was evidence of wrongdoing on the part of the former political leader of the Tobago Council of the PNM, then that evidence should have been taken to the police and the Integrity Commission, so investigation could have commenced for wrongdoing on the part of the individual. And as a political party, we are saying that if there is wrongdoing on the side of anyone, we are saying take your evidence, take your information to the relevant authorities and let the chips fall where they may. And this Chief Secretary, we have seen from the time that he has taken office, what he says is adverse to what he does. It's a conveyance. And as you indicated, the Chief Secretary said coming into office that there was no money. But we would have the People's National Movement would have held a press conference with the former Secretary of Finance, and he would have indicated we are coming to the end of a quarter, we are coming to the end of a month. And at that time, the Tobago House of Assembly was receiving releases from the Ministry of Finance monthly. So if you are in December, you are end of the month, you are at the end of a quarter. In December, we would normally pay workers early, we would make expenditure for goods and services, and whatever expenditure of the assembly that is required to be paid. So those resources for that month would have been exhausted. But what we also took the opportunity to share with the public is that there was a balance on allocation. And the balance on allocation was somewhere in the vicinity of, I think, was $700 million or something like that. So it means that you have that balance on allocation from what you would have received from the Ministry of Finance versus your total allocation, and you will be in receipt of that from January until the end of the financial year in December. But the Chief Secretary came to Tobago and I would say hoodwink, speak misinformed the public about what is happening with the financial resources, and we would have seen true to form that this administration would have received the balance of their allocation and they were able to do what they were required to do. We are also seeing now where this administration has received the largest allocation. But what we are seeing, what is being done with the allocation, and we could see why they have no funds because it is being misappropriated.
All right, Councillor. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to speak about the address Chief Secretary Fali Augustine and his executive members would have done, the pre-recorded address in response to the AudioGate scandal. So we're going to take a quick break, viewers. Stick with us. We'll be right back. Remember to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Jimmy's Holiday Resorts has 1, 2, and 3 bedroom, fully self-contained apartments located at the heart of Crown Point. Minutes walk to the popular beaches, restaurants, bars, and the airport. Enjoy our amazing amenities such as fully equipped apartments, complete with Wi-Fi, AC, TV, and a pool, and a mini-mart on the compound. Call 639-8292 or 8929. Jimmy's Holiday Resorts is your family's home away from home.
Are you looking for a place for your loved ones? Heavenly Care welcomes you. Located at Northside Road opposite Massey Motors, we offer a variety of services. These include doctor visitations, social activities, geriatric care, and much more. Contact us at 277-9595 or visit us at Northside Road opposite Massey Motors. At Heavenly Care, compassion is at the heart of all care.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning.
And we are back, viewers. We're back here and continuing the conversations with the minority councillor. We will be delving into now the address Chief Secretary Fali Augustine would have made in response to the AudioGate scandal. So, councillor, normally we would have expected this to be a press conference where media would have been invited, questions would have been asked, so we could have really put this whole thing to rest. But sadly, it would have been a pre-recorded address that the public, that the Tobago public would have been exposed to. What are your thoughts on that pre-recorded address?
It was very disappointing because after we would have waited so long and after the Chief Secretary indicated to media personnel that he will speak soon, I think the public expected that he will face the press and he will answer whatever questions that will be posed to him in relation to this AudioGate. Again, the Chief Secretary would have promised greater transparency, accountability, and good governance. And having a pre-recorded, I don't even know what to call it, having this pre-recorded briefing did not show greater accountability, greater transparency, or good governance. And they were in this room that was so dark and gloomy. And as the political leader of the Tobago Council of the People's National Movement would have compared it to what he said, it seemed to be a funeral. Yes, so the Chief Secretary may have been eulogizing himself, and it was quite disappointed because we anticipated that he would have exposed himself to be subject to questions and answers. And the other thing that was quite interesting is that the Chief Secretary did not categorically deny that the audio recording was a fake. He did not deny that they may have botched or put several clippings together to create a narrative, as he would have called it. And he did not indicate that it was any artificial intelligence. And that was very telling. It was telling to a lot of members of the public. And we expected better. We expected greater accountability. And we expected the Chief Secretary to come to the public and face the music, so to speak.
All right, Councillor. And because with these conferences, when it comes to the dissemination of information, the public will heavily depend on media personnel to ask the questions and represent the public opinion.
Yes, and ask the questions that they have been asking, because there has been a lot of questions in the space. When did it happen? Who was in the meeting? Why were you conspiring? You know, there are a lot of questions that still remain unanswered, because the Chief Secretary spent over an hour sharing or briefing the public, and he spent approximately less than 5 minutes dealing with the whole issue of the conspiracy and the audio gate. He maligned contractors, he called all sorts of names, but the substantive issue that people were waiting for 24 days to hear about, the Chief Secretary spent the least time dealing with that issue. And there was no opportunity for the media to elaborate more on that issue to the benefit of the public. And that was quite disappointing.
Understood, Councillor. And before we jump to the big guns, that's calling them to demit office, calling them to leave and resign, do you think that we should also call for them to have a genuine press conference, one where the media can be present and ask the question, one where we can have a release where at the end of the day it wouldn't give more questions and answers? Do you think that before we jump to the big guns, that we could just ask the Chief Secretary, we want the transparency, we will promise, can we have a press conference where media personnel can be present to have the questions asked?
Well, I don't know. I feel like the ship has sailed for that, because what the Chief Secretary promises and what he does, as we would have indicated before, it doesn't happen. So the Chief Secretary promised ex gratia, and he would have made several dates by which the ex gratia should have been paid. And to date, we have not seen that. The Chief Secretary would have said that if you are caught in corruption and if you are caught in wrongdoing, you will be removed from the Executive Council. We are seeing corruption, we are seeing wrongdoing, and the Chief Secretary and his team is still in office. The Chief Secretary would have indicated that he will do a reshuffle. To this date, we have not seen any reshuffle. The Chief Secretary would have made a lot of promises, and those promises remain unkept. So I have no expectation. I think that ship has sailed. The Police and the Integrity Commission is doing its work, and we are pleading for one last time for the Chief Secretary to do the right thing, honor his words, and demit office. Allow the people to make a judgment and choose who they require to restore good governance, decency, and dignity to the Assembly.
All right, Minority Councillor. So sadly, time is of the essence, but I want to thank you for joining us here this morning on the Youth Wednesday show to have that discussion about the political climate here in Tobago. Hopefully, we can have you here again to have these informative conversations. Yes. So I want to thank you once again, viewers. That was our Minority Councillor, Mrs. Petter Danielle Benoit, as we chatted a bit about the political climate here in Tobago. Now we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. Just remember to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Right now, Tobagonians are just scurrying down to Bonaccord, right in Stobie Local Road. You know why? To come down and shop at Authentic Builders General Hardware, the only hardware store in Tobago that is giving you guys Trinidad prices. So for instance, such as steel, 1/2 inch and 5/8, $7,895. 5/8 construction ply for $260. Every single thing that you will need to do your home renovation or start your new construction, we have it right here. And to get your quotation, it's very easy. Just WhatsApp us at 272-1990. Do your free WhatsApp quotation.
Everybody only worrying. Never ever worry. Don't mind how things looking hard. I tell them never ever worry. If your life can't get damaged bad. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry. Don't mind if life make you sad. I tell them never ever worry. If your house get flooded out real bad. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry. If sickness catch you off guard. I tell them never ever worry. If times fall on you real hard. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil will always be here for you. Never worry about a thing. Tatil, where people are people. You know what I mean.
Advertise with Tobago updates. Call 284-6597. If you have a small or large business, we can get your information in front of the masses. Reach our rapidly growing viewership on Facebook and YouTube. Promote your brand in Trinidad and the Caribbean through M&E TV Now and Gayel. Yes, we can build unique ads for your business. Call now 284-6597 and advertise with us.
October will never be better with Tobago Carnival fever. Okay, passage and come on over.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
To Youth Wednesdays on the Tobago Updates television. We must remind you that you are viewing us on the newly added Amplia channel 102. Good morning and welcome, guys. It's been a pleasure. It's been a good morning thus far, albeit a rainy morning. So this morning we're going to shift the discussion. Just a little subtle, segueing from the topic, the heavy topic this morning. We're going to be talking about a fundraiser, Everything Mango. And this morning, to have this discussion, we have Reverend Belinda Manswell Daniel, Minister of the Moravian Church Tobago Conference, and we have Miss Roxanne Roberts-Baines, Chairperson of the Moravian Church Conference. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning. Good morning.
How you guys are doing?
We are doing well. And how are you doing this morning?
I am doing well in your presence.
Thank you.
Doing well. You guys look lovely.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
You know, so just quickly tell us about yourself, beginning with your good self, Reverend.
Right. Well, as you said, I'm Belinda Manswell Daniel, pastor of the Bucco Moravian Church. And we are here today to discuss, to share about Everything Mango.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And your good self, Mistress Baines?
Hi, I'm Roxanne Roberts-Baines, as I said, member of the Bucco Moravian Church, and I'm also one of the chairs of the Tobago Everything Mango Committee. Right. Tobago Conference Everything Mango Committee.
So tell us why this initiative. Tell us about it. And what is it geared toward?
We are delighted to share with you and to share with everybody who's listening. And let me also say good morning to the viewing public. Yes. Well, Everything Mango would have been downloaded by God. Let me just say by God. Last year, the congregation, Bucco, we had a prayer and fast. And while, we were praying, the Lord downloaded to me this fundraiser, Everything Mango. And I shared it with the congregation, to which they, gladly embraced it. So it was done last year.
Oh, so it's not
the
first.
Second year, but
right.
It's interesting. It's the second year and still a first time. I'll tell you why. So last year was done at Bucco congregation. This year, having recognized, its magnitude and the reach that this thing could have, we involved the other 7 congregations in the Tobago Conference to be on board. So while it's the second year we're having the theme Everything Mango, it's the first time going conferential wise.
Right.
Yes. And we recognize as well, I mean, as we say in Tobago parlance, mango knocking dog. Yeah. Mango wasted in Tobago.
Yes.
So, you know, how could we make use of this precious fruit called the mango?
Right.
Yes.
Right.
And so we have come together to put this fundraiser together.
That's good. That's good. And I think I want to stick a plug in. There are some good neighbors, you know, very good neighbors who like to lock up their mangoes. I think I must make a call to you. You know, welcome them, give them the mangoes. You know, don't let the mangoes waste and go to the flies. You know, this is for a worthy cause. And while we are on a worthy cause, Mrs. Baines, right? Tell us, why is this initiative important?
Okay, this initiative is important. It is important to us. It is important to Tobago for us to see how many things we could do with mango. Right? So often long ago, we just used to eat mango as children, you know. You didn't get anything and you go below the mango tree and you eat the mango. We never think about we could cook, we could involve it, mix it in the food. So you could come up with a mango salad, a mango, you know, mango rice, mango chicken, mango
rice.
Yes, of course. So you have your mango, you make your mango rice, just as how you'll make your veg rice. You will incorporate your mangoes into your rice, your mango chicken. Right, your mango pork, whether it's stewed pork, barbecue pork, your mango barbecue sauce, because mangoes, you have so much derogatives that you could get from mango.
Wow. Well, and we are seeing the flyer here, Everything Mango, and this, you know, this is such a good initiative, and I'll tell you why, because you know, as a student of the environment, you know, I see this important for the landscape of Tobago, in that we are practicing conservation.
That's right.
You know, too many times we take for granted the environment, and this does have a positive environmental impact. So is it that you did consider, you know, this as being a part of you know, preserving the environment?
Yes, of course, of course. And you know, as Roxanne said, you know, a long time you sat on the mango tree and you had your mango. Now we are seeing it wasting.
Right.
We are seeing that, you know, with the wastage, the way in which it would make the environment not look presentable. We are saying, listen, we want to get back to that place where we collect our mangoes,
right,
make use of them. It could be eaten directly, and as you would have seen on the flyer, there'll be mango snacks, mango fudge, mango sugar cake. Yes, so we want to say, listen, we don't want these things to be wasted. We want to conserve the environment by making the best use of this food.
Right.
But I also want to add as well, the fundraiser is also geared towards assisting a family.
Right.
Yes, so we have this house construction initiative for a family. The husband is paralyzed and the wife has rheumatic conditions.
Wow.
Yes. So we want to really build a house for them because, you know something? The Moravian Church has a significant history of, you know, meeting people where they are, meeting families, and seeking to minister unto them in whatever way we can. Yes, based on the Great Commission to go and make disciples. And so that is what, you know, proceeds will also go towards, you know, having this house constructed for this family.
Great. And they're telling me that we have limited time. But while we do have some time, Ms. Roxanne, tell us, how do you go about getting the mangoes? Is it that you purchase them? Is it that they are donated? How is it? How do you go about getting the mangoes?
No, we don't purchase. Because it's a fundraiser, we collect the mangoes.
That's right.
So we go to persons. You may have a mango tree, I may come to you, you have mangoes, give me some mangoes. So we don't ever purchase. We try not to purchase anything because it's a fundraiser and because we are a giving and caring person in our congregation, within us, we are giving and caring. So, you know, you go to the neighbors or somebody may even, people calls, you know, normally calls. You're doing everything mango, would you like to have some mangoes? So we get mangoes. We always get mangoes. People will come in, I have some mangoes. You want to have some mangoes? And we get our mangoes.
Right.
Any kind of mango you could think about. So maybe long mango, ice cream mango, cutlass mango, whatever mango it is, we collect.
Great,
That's right.
great.
Yes.
So I know you mentioned some of the products, and we saw the ice cream on the flyer.
Mhm.
What are some of the other products that we might not expect that will be a part of the fundraiser on Saturday?
Mango pepper sauce.
Mango what?
Mango pepper sauce.
I would have to try that.
Yes.
I mean, I feel the pepper, I know, but I also like it. Is a kind of...
It's not a very, it's not spicy.
It's flavorful.
Yes. Flavorful. You are going to enjoy it.
Because of the mangoes,
Yes.
it brings a nice contrast, a blend between the mangoes and the peppers. Yes.
Wow.
And we are also having mango bread.
Mango bread?
Yes, mango hops, mango fudge,
mango
So
cheesecake.
is it going to be made on spot?
No.
No, we're having them brought in.
But, I presume it's dirt oven bread?
Yes.
Dirt oven bread from the Mariah congregation? Certainly.
I love me a dirt oven bread.
Yes.
Nothing
Yes.
could beat it. Smokiness.
Yes.
So it would be interesting to see how that would taste.
Mhm.
You know, I hope that Tobago Updates will be so inclined to send one of us to cover the event, you know?
We will welcome you.
Yes, and
Welcome you,
just a
yes.
minute as well. We also have mango fudge, mango sauce,
Right.
mango sugar cake. So we often know about the coconut sugar cake. So now we are going to be having mango sugar cake.
Right.
So we
That's
also
right.
have that as well. We also have mango nectars, mango juice. So we have a mango sorbet.
Right.
So we
Slushy
have a
and
lot,
smoothie.
yes,
Wow.
slushy
Yes.
smoothie,
Good.
yes.
Good stuff. Good
And we're
stuff.
also having entertainment.
Wow.
Yes,
Would you
we're
be
having
singing?
entertainment. Come and see.
Come and see.
Experience.
Come and see.
experience.
Come
That's
and
right.
see. Out of the back with the entertainment. Come and see.
All right, good. Guys, you know, this unfortunately brings us to the end of our interview this morning. However, I want to ask that you rehash where the event is going to be taking place, what time, what to expect.
Yes, so it's Saturday, 24th June. That's 3 days away at Shore Park Food Hub from 10 to 6 p.m.
Right.
Lunch starts from 12 o'clock.
Right.
So we are expecting the whole of Tobago
to come and
to
down.
be at the Shore Park Food Hub on
Hub,
Saturday. And we want to say thanks to everybody, all those persons who would have supporting us, donating, making the calls, yes. And just remind you, a chicken meal, it's $50. Baked pork, $55. Baked fish, $60.
All right.
So come on down.
All right, good. Thank you
And
very much.
enjoy.
Unfortunately, I want to thank you guys for being here this morning, and we look forward to the success of your
Thank
event.
you. Thank you.
Guys, this brings us to the end of this interview. We want to ask you to share the live. We go to a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Tapicom. Welcome to the future. The only card you will need in a new world. Digital business cards. Safe, hassle-free. The future is here. Tapicom. New generation digital transfer. Digital time clock cards. Digital attendance cards. Air tags. Customized designs. Digital clothing tags. Digital pet tags. Tapicom. The future is here. Contact us today.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
It's a different type of thing down there. Man, we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
Put a smile on your face.
And we're back here on the Youth Wednesday show here on Tobago Updates. And viewers, on Tobago Updates television, yes, you know, I'm still getting into
Yes.
into the new setting. And, you know, viewers, all good things must come to an end. So we have finally reached the end of our Youth Wednesday show. And Dwayne, what were your thoughts on today's interviews?
Today interviews were great. I mean, albeit we only had two. You know, one cancelled, unfortunately, but we did our best.
Yeah, we did our best.
We did our best. You know, but look, I heard that you were in the people and them country doing an accent, a Jamaican accent. You don't care if you tell us about that?
Well, Star, you know, we got on a Trinidad and a ramp with it in a Hyatt, and we had breakfast, we celebrate my birthday, and, you know, we had to make them think so we actual Jamaican, because, you know, we had to keep the accents on. And, you know, it was fun to just pretend to be Jamaicans. I really appreciated how you guys fed off my energy immediately, and everybody just came in with the accents, and we kept that facade up for the entire day in Trinidad. So viewers, whenever you're feeling a bit fun to just live life on edge, just pretend to be a Jamaican and tell them it's your birthday.
Yes, it was fun. It was quite fun. And I remember the guy was very much convinced that I was Jamaican. I was like, huh?
Good times.
Good times. But guys, this brings us to the end of Youth Wednesdays on Tobago Television. I want to thank you for viewing us this morning. We want to go over to Tobago Notes with Candice Jackson. Tobago Notes, sorry, and then we have Good Morning Tobago with Candice Jackson. Just remember to
share the live.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Occupational Safety and Health Department, formerly Safety and Health Unit, was established in 2012 as a strategic approach by the THA to comply with the Occupational Safety and Health Act. This department is responsible for the development and implementation of an OSH management system throughout all divisions of the THA.
A warm welcome to the 9th Annual Tobago House of Assembly's Occupational Safety and Health Awards Ceremony 2023. This ceremony marks the culmination of all of the activities that took place in commemoration of the ILO's World Day for Safety and Health at Work 2023, which is celebrated worldwide today. The activities hosted by the department embody the theme for this year: a safe and healthy working environment is a fundamental principle and right at work.
We want to use this opportunity to thank all of you for your service to the THA, service in the private sector as well. I want to thank all of you for ensuring that we keep our workers safe, so that workers can go home safely every evening to their families. And we will keep working. This is a commitment that we'll keep working as far as resources are available in ensuring that the work environment remains safe, hospitable, and healthy for all our workers.
Was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
Yeah. Hey. Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago. Wake up with Candace and Denicia. Let's go. It's a brand new morning. Rise up to a brand new dawning as the passion start to rise. The energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor to wake up and hear my neighbor. 60,000 people strong and the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power.
Welcome to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates, your source for current affairs in Tobago, Trinidad, and the region. With the perfect conversations to complement your morning routine, I am Candice Jackson, and let's get started with the news in 90 seconds. According to Section 49.5 of the THA Act of 1996, the fiscal package for Tobago's governance must be presented, debated, and passed by the Assembly before the end of the third quarter of the financial year. This means that the budget is required to be passed by June 30th annually. It was expected that due to these legal stipulations that a budget day would have been announced and listed on the order paper for the next sitting of the Assembly. However, when the order paper was issued by the Clerk of the House for the next sitting, which is on Thursday, 22nd June, there was still no confirmation on a budget day. Meanwhile, following a public meeting which featured Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley in Calder Hall on Labor Day, the Tobago Council of the PNM is set to host another public meeting in Charlottesville on Thursday, 22nd June, with the PNM Tobago Council political leader Ansel Dennis as the featured speaker. The intention to begin this meeting were previously promised by Dennis. The launch of public meetings by the PNM Tobago Council is a similar strategy of the opposition UNC in Trinidad, who has held weekly Monday night meetings outside of an election season. And finally, the Commonwealth Youth Games 2023 will be held in Trinidad and Tobago from August 4th to the 11th. There is a call from the organizing committee for young persons to become sports ambassadors during the games. As a sport ambassador, individuals will be the face of the games, and as a volunteer, individuals will be engaged in the logistics of the games. This is an opportunity to represent our country and showcase our talents and hospitality. And that was the news in 90 seconds, brought to you by Coconuts Cafe.
Coconuts Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes. For breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti, served with chokers, buljoil, and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie, and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads, and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules or if you are having a cooking day off.
Back to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates. Well, viewers, we have a jam-packed show for you this morning. So we're not going to waste any time. We're going to get straight into our first guest, who is, of course, the CEO of the chairman of the Tobago, the Tobago Tourism Agency Limited, and that's Miss Alicia Edwards. Good morning and welcome to you.
Good morning, Candice, and good morning to your viewing audience.
And of course, once you know Miss Edwards is on with us, we are talking tourism, and we are talking about all the various ways in which we are attempting to attract more visitors to the island. And recently, the division released some information that said that we are reaching out to North America. In fact, they had confirmation, the Chief Secretary even announced that they had confirmation of a new chartered flight from the U.S. to begin sometime in August. So good morning and welcome to you again. And just give us a little bit more details on this new chartered flight that was announced.
So I want to start, good morning and thank you. I want to start before that and talk a little bit about why the interest in the USA. So as you know, historically, the agency was very much focused on North America, on the UK,
yes.
and Europe. And our research has found that there was a lot of untapped potential in North America, specifically the USA. And so what we've been doing in the last couple of months is setting up ourselves to actually take advantage of the activities and of the opportunities in that particular market. The chartered flight is not organized by us, but as we have been doing in the past with all persons who are doing things that synergize with our goals and objectives, we are synergizing and cooperating with all of those entities whose goals and objectives coincide with ours. And so it was in that vein that we would have attended the CHTA event, Caribbean Hotel and Tourism Association event in Barbados in May. And we also went to the Caribbean Week in New York in June.
Great. Now, as you said, we traditionally have been very UK-based for our visitors, Germany as well, and those parts of Europe. What's the interest like now? I mean, because for us in Tobago, over the years, it seemed as though we were not quite always what North Americans were looking for. But has there been a change, and what can you tell us that change is?
So most of the other Caribbean islands have been attracting more North American visitors than visitors from the UK and from Europe. The traveling population in the UK is aging. Also, you know that they went through some recent economic issues. And North America has been, I think Tobago is one of the last Caribbean islands to join the game in terms of attracting visitors from North America. What North America means is an opportunity for Tobago to smooth the income flow from arrivals, because most of the visitors from the Europe and from the UK only come during the winter months. And so there is the issue of how do we create demand and fuel demand at the other times of the year, the April to October period. North Americans have different travel patterns. A lot of them are into flexi work. A lot of them have holidays at different times of the year. And because we're in the same chain, it's easy for them to come down the islands. They're accustomed coming to Barbados and Jamaica and all the other islands. So Tobago is now tapping into that opportunity. We have appointed a representative firm in the market to seek our interests. And we are continuing to build out actions, digital and physical actions in that market to begin to tap into the potential there.
And of course, this flight is expected to help with getting them across to Tobago, the chartered flight. What can you tell us even about that arrangement for the chartered flight? Has there been a start date established yet? How is it going to work?
Right. So as I would have said before, the chartered flight is outside of our arrangement. It's not chartered by us. What I can tell you is that one of the things that we have to be careful about is that not to focus only on the airlift. Critical to people coming here is knowing about the destination and being convinced about the destination. And so TTAL is very much focused on those initial actions to bring people into the sales funnel. Because it doesn't matter how many flights we arrange, if people don't know about the island and people are not enticed to coming the island, then they're not going to be here. So it's not just about the flight. The flight is the end game. The flight is what people can see. But setting up the consistent actions in the market to differentiate ourselves from other islands, to weave a story and to convince people to choose Tobago over all else. That is what TTAL has been focusing on doing.
And you guys are doing that through attending various trade shows and events. And tell me a bit about how those events are helping you guys in putting Tobago's name out there and making sure that we can generate that interest.
Okay, so we went to Caribbean Week in New York. It was from June 5th to 8th. And during Caribbean Week, we had the opportunity to do quite a number of things. At Caribbean Week, it's an opportunity for all CTO members, islands, to come together and to make presentations to media in North America. So we were able to speak to various radio station, TV station, online networks about the island. We also sponsored and hosted the media launch on the Thursday, and we were able to do a full destination brief, sharing about Tobago and sharing some of the activities and products of the island. We also took the opportunity to pay a courtesy call at the Consulate General Trinidad and Tobago in New York, and to talk about ways that we could partner more meaningfully with them in terms of their diaspora outreach and other general arrangements. And so it really was an excellent opportunity for us. What we found was a very receptive media. A lot of people were either of Caribbean origin, and so there was that nostalgia. And then we met some people who knew about Tobago, who may have represented Tobago, and who may have covered Tobago in times past. So they were very happy to see us officially in the market, because we have attended Caribbean Week before, but attending Caribbean Week without having the requisite support infrastructure in the market is useless. So now we feel that those actions can be leveraged because there is continuing action after we have packed up and come back home.
And what have we seen come out of those outreaches so far?
Yeah. Well, you know, I always caution you that we plant seeds in the work that we do. Yes. And so a lot of the actions that we take only bear fruit maybe 6 to 9 months out. So the actions that we took January, February, even now, are really to create interest and to cause people to book to come later in the year. What these actions that we took in New York are intended to do is to really raise the profile of Tobago in the North American space, to support an aggressive digital campaign that we have ongoing in that space, and to really give us an opportunity to get the word out about Tobago. Our budget for North America, as our entire budget is quite small. And so what we have found is that the intimacy of personal visits and interviews and those kinds of things are going a long way to help us, rather than the consumer marketing that that a lot of islands are able to do a lot more ramped up than we have.
What aspect of the presentations or just the advertising that you did through the Caribbean Week, what aspect of that resounded mostly with the participants, with the prospective visitors?
Right. So I was chosen to do the presentation, and instead of talking about the island from the eyes of a tourist, I talked about the Tobago that I knew. So yes, we talked about sea and beaches, and everywhere has a sea and beach, but I talked a little bit about what the beach represented for me as somebody who grew up in Dallaford. The fact that the beach was really for sometimes an opportunity to go every day. We went every morning and we took a dip. It was a place where you would pick up shells, where you would take almonds, where you will have a little raft made out of bamboo and do things. I talk about how Tobagonians use the beach to take a dip, sap their knee, go every morning, that we're not really the lining on the beach kind. I talk about fish. I talk about sea moss. So I really talked about Tobago from the eyes of a Tobagonian. And so it resounded, and people came up after and said, oh, wow. I talked about the beauty of the sunsets, how the birds sing for us every morning, the cleanliness of the air, the freshness of the food. And those things, what we're finding is that there is a need for marketing that is authentic, an opportunity for people who live in a space to talk about the space and to share that space and share the experiences in that space. And that really went on well. And it really is something that we're doing more in the agency, where we are using ourselves to tell our own story, where we're not depending on persons external to Tobago to say what Tobago is and to share what Tobago can be. Because if you haven't lived here or spent any time, significant time here, it's hard for you to convince people how special this place is.
Certainly. And, you know, even when you look at a lot of what's happening in North America, there's a move towards, you know, better lifestyles and so on. Things like veganism and all of that is gathering steam. How can we in Tobago capitalize on those culture shifts that are happening and position ourselves to welcome these people?
Yeah, I'm very grateful for that question, because as you know, the agency currently officially markets itself on 4 pillars: romance, sea and beaches, ecotourism, and people, culture, and heritage. We are in the process at the agency of building out another pillar, 5th pillar, which we call wellness. And it's not wellness from the perspective of a spa, but it's wellness from the perspective that green spaces are healing, fresh breezes are healing, water is healing, the bush tea that we take for granted is healing, the herbs that we are cutting down and putting lawn grass for are healing, petting dogs and seeing animals and fishes and birds fly is healing. And so we're trying to build out niche offerings in the wellness category and start to market the destination as a place where people can revive, reset, rejuvenate, and just get away for a bit before they get back into the craziness that's the world.
And, you know, sometimes, like, you know, when we hear those big words, I would say, like, being a vegan, I mean, it seems so foreign. But when you look at some of our culture, especially in the gastronomic culture of us, there's a lot of that in there.
Yes.
What parts of that are people attracted to?
When we have people come over people love the freshness of the food. A lot of the greens and so that we have are not similar to the greens that they have in North America. Callaloo is a big thing. Or fish and or seafood is a big thing for people who may not be vegan but vegetarian. Even for meat eaters, the freshness of our meat, because a lot of the meat is, we still have butchers and abattoirs and all of those things. All of those things add to the flavor, and we may think of them as basic, but we take for granted that a lot of people who live in other parts of the world have to pay a lot for what they call organic food. When you go to Whole Foods and you see the price of help me out, a five fingers, or you see the price of a pamarat, or you see the price of a mango, or you see the little puny zabuka that the Mexicans sell. I think they call them hasa. When you see and you taste the quality of those, you realize that Tobago is a very special place. So we've been featuring those, and we've been encouraging not just through our advertising, but through the people who visit us, because we recently, yesterday, we closed off a North American press trip where we had journalists from the USA and Canada with us for a week, and they went all around the island sampling the food, focusing on the experiences so that they can document and share how beautiful the island is.
All right, great. Now we're going to take a pause here, but we'll be continuing this conversation when we come back after this quick break.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the sky.
Jimmy's Holiday Resorts has 1, 2, and 3 bedroom, fully self-contained apartments located at the heart of Crown Point. Minutes walk to the popular beaches, restaurants, bars, and the airport. Enjoy our amazing amenities such as fully equipped apartments, complete with Wi-Fi, AC, TV, and a pool, and a mini-mart on the compound. Call 639-8292 or 8929. Jimmy's Holiday Resorts is your family's home away from home.
Right now, Tobagonians are just currying down to Bonaccord, right in Stobie Local Road. You know why? To come down and shop at Authentic Builders General Hardware, the only hardware store in Tobago that is giving you guys Trinidad prices. So for instance, such as steel, 1/2 inch and 5/8, $7,895. 5/8 construction ply for $260. Every single thing that you will need to do your home renovation or start your new construction, we have it right here. And to get your quotation, it's very easy. Just WhatsApp us at 272-1990 and we will do your free WhatsApp quotation for you.
October will never be better with Tobago Carnival fever. Okay, passage and come on over.
Yeah. Hey.
Tobago updates.
Good morning, Tobago. Welcome back to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates. Well, viewers, we are continuing our conversation with Ms. Alicia Edwards, Executive Chairman of the Tobago Tourism Agency Limited. Now, TTAL was represented at the Caribbean Travel Marketplace in Barbados from May 8th to the 11th, where some interesting things happened, and they were able to engage the Caribbean Tourism Authority on several different things that can benefit Tobago. So I wanted to share a little bit about some of those things that came out of that outreach.
Okay, so the team that went to CHTA was myself, the marketing officer that is regional, Miss Andra Jofield. She couldn't be here this morning because she just wrapped up that trip yesterday, and a member of our board. While we were there, we took the opportunity to hold a press conference in Barbados to remind people about that connecting flight that we have with CAL, because there's always a need for that reminder.
Yes, because I mean, even recently I came back from Barbados, and that flight was not utilized.
Yes, yes. That the thing about it is that there's always ongoing work to do in the market. And one of the things that we're doing is that while we were there, we had a destination brief for travel agents in Barbados. And we spoke to Carl, and we are in the midst of planning a road show to Barbados to really drum up support around the flight. But I want to talk about cooperation, because all of the things that we're doing are not actions that we're taking alone. In conjunction with Carl, we have agreed that there is need for us to do more joint marketing and promotion of the flight. So the road show to Barbados would be the beginning of those actions. We are planning it with the regional manager there. And we don't have dates as yet, but it's definitely something that we're going to have to do. Go to the malls, go to whatever, because there's a lot of interest for Bajans to come to Tobago. What the research has shown us is that Tobago is the most searched Caribbean destination for people in Barbados.
Oh,
so there is
that's very
opportunity
interesting.
there. And so it's now for us to follow up with the necessary actions to drum up support. The other thing that we're finding with the CTU and the Caribbean arrangement is that a lot more islands post-COVID are recognizing the importance of coming together. And so over the last couple of months that I've been attending the CTU meetings, quite a few countries are coming back into the fold, being approved to rejoin the CTU because there is strength in numbers. A lot of the issues that plague Tobago are the same issues that plague some of our small neighbors: connectivity, airlift, the cost of seats, the budget for marketing, and all of the other developmental things that impact tourism. And so by coming together with some of our colleagues, there is now an opportunity for us to agitate at the level of CARICOM for some of the changes that has to happen. So for example, IATA, who sets the taxes and so for airlift, that is a body that has interaction at the heads of government level at CARICOM, so the ministers of tourism, etc. And for the longest while, there has been the intention to review the taxes on flights. If those taxes are removed or reduced, it will automatically make travel between the region between 35 to 50% cheaper.
Wow.
And so there is good reason for islands to come together and coalesce around that point, because once the flights are more affordable, it makes it easier for people to do the inter-island hop. So it would be cheaper for you to come to Tobago rather than go to Miami. So we are heartened by the renewed interest in the synergy and the cooperation, and we are working and playing our part in that regional arrangement, because together we are much stronger than we are separately.
Certainly, and that was also the message that came from CARICOM heads of government. I was seeing it more strongly in recent times, but even though it's been spoken about for years, this has been something that has been discussed for a long period of time. It hasn't been able to happen yet. I think LIAT was at one point in time was supposed to be the catalyst for that happening. We know how LIAT turned out, but is there any initiative being put in place, any action being made to improve the connectivity between our islands?
Right. So one of the things that I've been noticing at the level of the CTO is the level of involvement of the various ministers of tourism. So when you go to these events, we are seeing ministers of tourism of most of the islands coming and participating so that they could understand the needs of their participants. And they are going back to their governments and their cabinets and making the necessary recommendations for things to change, because everything happens at the level of government in that case. We also have seen that the private sector is becoming more nimble in terms of how it's responding. So there is a new airline that's doing a lot of inter-regional traffic. I think it's Inter-Caribbean
yes.
Airline. We have initiated some discussions with them as well. There is also another airline called Air Antilles that has been doing the French-speaking Caribbean and running routes through St. Lucia and so. So between the public and the private sector and the tourism sector, there's a lot of quiet collaboration and moves to do what we have to do. We saw recently the announcement of a Windward ferry that would do a maxi run. Well, I call it a sea maxi run through the islands. And again, all of those things help with connectivity because you see, the islands look similar, but they are all very different. And there are so many opportunities for interregional travel, interregional trade, interregional cultural exchanges that can come about from better connectivity. And we are all for helping people in Tobago make more money from the things that make us special.
You know, even some of the major, let me say, the rum industry, some of the major players in the rum industry in Barbados suggested having like a rum Caribbean tour, because we know all our islands, we produce rum, and there's an interest. There's a group of people that are interested in things like that, and not just rum. There's so many things that are similar. We have cocoa in many of our islands. We all produce great chocolates. You know, of course, we say Tobago is the best, but all of the islands have something great to offer. You know, are we exploring those ideas where, based on a specific niche, you could go island hopping and do a tour over the islands for these things?
Yes, we recognize that there's a lot of potential there. For example, cricket is a great unifier around the islands, and we have not done enough to explore the potential of sport and different sporting activities within the region. Another big unifier is culture, because even though we have music in the different islands, all the music is different. Different islands have different instruments. Even though there's carnival all over the islands now, each island's carnival is very different. I was in Curacao for their carnival, and their music sounded more like parang to me. It was
because they have more of that Spanish influence.
Yes, it sounded like parang to me. So the star of the show, which may be equivalent to a Marshall Montano or whoever, etc., was a lady in her 60s in a white dress that looked like a wedding dress. And she was there with a fan and some flowers looking like Daisy Voisin. And she was singing what was their calypso. And everybody in the audience, instead of having a rag, they had like a fedora hat that they were waving, and they were doing this dance. And their carnival's festivity is well patronized. In St. Lucia, there's a different energy to the carnival. Spice Mass is different. So all of those things, even though they may seem similar, there is a different source, there is a different sweetness that each island has. And so the conversations around multi-destination trips, because a lot of our airlines do hops across various islands, those are some of the things that we are exploring as well. We are also continuing our collaboration with Tourism Trinidad Limited, because one of the things that can happen and one of the things that we need to do more of would be the Twin Island holidays, not just for birding and eco-watching, because there is a good synergy between bird watching on Tobago and bird watching and turtle nesting in the Grand Riviere area in Trinidad, as well as the Acerite Center. But in other areas, there is an opportunity for us to synergize. Trinidad is where the hotness is, Tobago is the cool place. Let us encourage people to come for 10 and 14-day holidays, 5 days in one island, 8 days in another, 6 in another, so that stakeholders can continue to benefit more from what is already there and what's already available.
We have the Commonwealth Games coming up in August. What opportunities does that present for Tobago in terms of marketing and, selling the destination?
Right. So any opportunity where the island is on showcase is a good opportunity for Titan. We have seen how Qatar has made a name for itself, and they have piggybacked on the prominence of the World Cup to really talk and share who they are and to dispel some myths around their destination. Titan has been cooperating with the organizing committee to focus and to draw some of our marketing actions from those games. And what it does, it puts a spotlight on the opportunities in Tobago for the various activities. I know that there's a beach volleyball pavilion, setup that's being built out in Black Rock. And we have been talking with the division about some of the legacy strategies and the ways that we can continue to use those amenities post-games to build out what will come naturally for the destination.
All right, so I think we're about to take a quick break now, but we're not quite done with Miss Edwards. So we are enjoying our conversations this morning. So viewers, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
I say thanks for favor. So wake up and hear me neighbor. 60,000 people strong, and the vibes is never wrong.
Are you looking for a place for your loved ones? Heavenly Care welcomes you. Located at Northside Road opposite Massey Motors, we offer a variety of services. These include doctor visitations, social activities, geriatric care, and much more. Contact us at 277-9595 or visit us at Northside Road opposite Massey Motors. At Heavenly Care, compassion is at the heart of all care.
Everybody only worrying. Never ever worry. Don't mind how things looking hard. I tell them never ever worry. If your life can't get damaged bad. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry. Don't mind if life make you sad. I tell them never ever worry. If your house get flooded out real bad. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry. If sickness catch you off guard. I tell them never ever worry. If times fall on you real hard. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil will always be here for you.
Never worry about a thing. Tatil, where people are people. You know what I mean.
It's a different type of thing down there. And we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
This is your birthday shout out.
Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago.
Welcome back to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates. Viewers, we are continuing our conversations with the Executive Chairman of the Tobago Tourism Agency Limited, Mrs. Alicia Edwards. So another major part of selling the destination is making sure our stakeholders are on board. And one of the mandates from this present administration of the THA is to improve stakeholder relations. And we saw that TTEL has been doing so. They've had several stakeholder consultations. Tell me a little bit more about the engagement that the agency has been doing with our stakeholders to sort of improve that relationship.
So thank you so much for that question. So when we came on board and we started examining what we are supposed to do and the best way to achieve it, we decided to agree that TTAL was really support architecture for the people who make things happen. And so our work could not continue without their dedicated and continuous input. We opted to do it in a number of ways. One, the stakeholder conferences that we are holding, we call them the partnership forums that we're holding every quarter, are really an opportunity to come to stakeholders and report on what we've done, to share our plans with them, and also to ask for their support on surmounting some of the challenges that we identify as we do our work. But separate and apart from that, we have been going out more as an agency. My outfit today is this relaxed because we are heading out to visit a stakeholder. We've been going out as a team, marketing, product, etc. We've been going out to meet the people that we represent, to see what they do, to see them in action, to hear about their concerns, to find out how the agency can partner with them, and also to find out how they want themselves represented. What we're finding as we go out, we're also taking stakeholders with us on our various initiatives. For example, we have the bird fair coming up in the UK in a couple of weeks, and 2 of our experienced birders are going there. When there are dive operations, we take divers. When we went to CHTA recently, members of the Tobago Hotel and Tourism Association came along with us, shared our meetings, and were a part of the arrangement. And so the work is really a lot more on the ground. We are there serving people, and before you serve people, you have to know who they are. know what they need, understand what their perspective is, and we're doing that while simultaneously making our plans flow around what they want and what is good for the interest, the sector, and for Tobago in the end.
Now, as you're going out, what are you discovering about Tobago and what we have to offer? Because, and I say this in the context of a lot of people like to say or like to accuse the administration of not knowing what we're selling. You know, Tobago doesn't have nothing anyway for tourism other than the beaches and so on. You know, so what are the unique things that you are seeing there? What do we have within our space that we may not know?
Right. So one of the challenges that we have is that we are seeing ourselves from our own eyes. And when you have something with you all the time, you take it for granted. So yesterday, we sent home 8 journalists from North America and Canada who spent 5 days on the island. When you ask them what were the things that was most beneficial for them, you know what they told me? A couple of things. One, that they were here, they were in Castara, and they were down on the west side, and every single morning at 6 o'clock, they got up and they went to the beach for a dip. Because where they're from, the beach is a plan. You have to plan. You have to drive 3 and 4 hours to get to a beach. You have to take a plane for a beach. So they would go to the beach every single morning. In between the various appointments that they had during the day, if they had any downtime, they would go back for a dip in the afternoon. They were enthralled by the freshness of our seafood, right? We take the fish for granted. Some people don't eat fish. They were enthralled by the freshness of our seafood. They loved the flavors of the cuisine. They talked about the spices and the flavoring and the pairings, the generosity of the servings, things that we take for granted. They talked about the warmth of the people, right? They spoke about the knowledge and the expertise of our stakeholders because they went on various tours and activities, and they were amazed at how experienced and knowledgeable those stakeholders are. The final tour that they went on, we did the bioluminescence tour with Dwayne Kenny and his brother at Radical. And it was not just the tour, but the kind of scientific explanations that we got, the attention to safety, and all of those things showcase the destination in a positive light. So I want to say to Tobago people that do not take the things that we have for granted. We were in Barbados a couple of weeks ago, and I took pictures of the main street, and I said, we quarrel about Scarborough all the time, how awful and how dilapidated Scarborough looks. And Scarborough looks like most other Caribbean cities. There may be 1 or 2 high-rise buildings elsewhere, but we were in Barbados, and the main street looked like Scarborough. There were old buildings, there were dilapidated buildings, there were people who didn't have homes, and somehow or the other, people do not expect polished perfection from the destination. People are more about an authentic experience. People are very enthralled by the warmth, the energy of the people, the expertise and the sincerity of stakeholders. And those are the things that we are heartened about, because on none of the visits that we've had, none of the feedback that we've had, we have got negatives in that regard. Yes, there's room for improvement, as there always is, but in general, the feedback from all our visitors and from all the people who are coming to film and share has been extremely positive.
And that's certainly an excellent point to conclude our conversation. I want to thank you so much, Mrs. Alicia Edwards, for being on with us and for giving us your perspectives as we continue to market Destination Tobago to the world.
Yes, and if you'd allow me, I just always like to end, my person would kill me if I don't end, by talking a little bit about how you can contact us. So you can go to our website. Our website is tobagobeyond.com. You can call us by phone, 868-612-8825. We have an email address, info@tobagotourism.org. And then for our social media platforms, you can find us at Visit Tobago on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook.
I want to thank you so much, Ms. Alicia Edwards, for being on with us. And viewers, if you are in tourism, however small part you are playing in it, get connected with the agency and see how you can partner and improve your business as we improve as they try to improve the visitors to the destination. All right, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back after this break.
We are people in the sun. We are beaches, we are rivers. We are melanated one.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Advertise with Tobago Updates. Call 284-6597. If you have a small or large business, we can get your information in front of the masses. Reach our rapidly growing viewership on Facebook and YouTube. Promote your brand in Trinidad and the Caribbean through M&E TV Now and Gayel. Yes, we can build unique ads for your business. Call now 284-6597 and advertise with us.
Tapicom. Welcome to the future. The only card you will need in a new world. Digital business cards. Safe, hassle-free. The future is here. Tapicom. New generation digital transfer. Digital time clock cards. Digital attendance cards. Air tags. Customized designs. Digital clothing tags. Digital pet tags. Tapicom. The future is here. Contact us today.
Excel Spa by Haley, where our highly trained staff are ready to deliver the top-class services in facial massages, waxing, nail enhancement and body treatment. We are ideally located at Coco Avenue, Switzerland, Tobago. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, TripAdvisor, or you can call us on 730-0149. Excel Spa by Haley. Relax, renew, and rejuvenate.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
The best place to stay in Tobago is at Thorn's Place with rates starting as low as 200 TT. Call or WhatsApp 745-7306 or 682-8676. We are located uptown Scarborough, 5 minutes away from the port. Remember, at Thorn's Place, our aim is to make your stay safe and affordable.
October will never be better with Tobago Carnival Fever. Book your passage and come on over.
Yeah. Hey.
Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago. Wake up with Candace and Denise.
So good morning, Tobago. On Tobago Updates, viewers, now we are switching our conversation to opportunity for you. If you like, wooden things, to engage yourself in a craft that can earn you some money. So we are speaking with Mr. Richard Hubbard and Mr. Evan Samuel of who conduct wood turning demonstrations, and they have a special demonstration coming up for us tomorrow and Friday at the Scarborough Library. Good morning and welcome to you both.
Right. Good morning and thank you for having us.
Now let's start, and I will probably start with Mr. Richard. We'll start with, what is wood turning?
Well, wood turning is a process of turning wood on a wood lathe into various shapes. It could be spindles for chairs, bowls for sweets or for food. These are the types of items. You turn on it's a mechanized system nowadays. In the past, it was done on a pole lathe, which was a much slower process. But now it's technologically driven.
Tell me, Mr. Evan, what is so unique about it?
Well, first thing is that we consider ourselves, we help with the environment. When a tree falls, we take the parts of the tree and we make it into pieces of useful items. So when a tree falls, we will take a branch from the tree and we will make it into a rolling pin. And then we'll take a part of the trunk and we will make it into a bowl. So for us, the tree does not ever die.
How difficult is it?
Not difficult. Not difficult at all. The turning process needs practice. Like a musician, you need practice. And if you decide to turn any item, you need to practice until it reaches a point where you feel comfortable with what it looks like.
Okay.
So the actual turning process is not difficult. One little thing is that with people who do woodwork, they make their woodworking with a stationary piece of wood being cut by a spinning blade. In our case, the wood spins and the chisel that does the cutting is stationary. So it's a sort of reverse process.
I know the interest in woodwork and so on have sort of kind of fallen off over the years. Long ago, you would have people, you would introduce young people into those places where they get to be an apprenticeship and all of that. We don't have that anymore. Tell me about, just your interest in just getting back people, especially our young people, into something like this. Either one of you can take it.
Well, no, I used to be a school teacher, and I worked in practical area throughout most of my teaching career. And when many students would have failed, quote unquote, failed academically, they excelled in the technical areas, junior sec, senior comprehensive. And when that system kind of went into, I would say, into disrepair, it left a big void so that young people today do not understand how important that technical skill is. Richard and I coming to Tobago, we feel that there is a very, very clear path forward for young people and even older folks to get involved in this skill called wood turning because it's a standalone skill. With the use of the machine that turns the wood and some tool that would sharpen your chisels and a tool that will cut the wood to bring it to put on the metal on that wood lathe, you don't need anything else. So any young person A wood lathe costs sometimes a little less than a cell phone nowadays. So a young person, parents decide to buy them a wood lathe. In 6 months, 8 months, as Richard would tell you, they could produce a bowl, a mortar and pestle, a rolling pin. And one of the things that is important with us here today is that this demonstration that we're doing, it should attract young people at some stage because it is really a little money spinner for them. Where they work on their own, it's something like that.
And tell me about the opportunity. So you spoke about, just that financial gain that could come out of it. But how far can someone take this?
All right.
Richard? That can take you very far because you can get into functional items that can still command a good price, and you can go into art, the artistic part of it too, which is what Ivan does a lot of. And that can also be lucrative.
Yeah. In Richard's case, I call him the quintessential wood turner because he is a very good woodworker. So if he builds, let's say, a stool for you, it will be part woodwork and part wood turning. And as you make these kind of incursions into the minds of young people, they must find some little space to say, but I could do that too. I could do that too. This demonstration that we are taking part in, it is the first time in Trinidad and Tobago that there is going to be what we call a standalone skill called wood turning. So this is a first for Tobago.
Now, there are 2 types of wood turning, and that's spindle turning and faceplate turning. Care to share more on that?
Right, Richard, you could explain that very well.
The lathe consists of basically 3 parts. There's a bed, a headstock, which drives the wood, and a tailstock, which supports. And so there's between centers, which is mounted between the headstock and the faceplate. And you can have what they call faceplate turning, which is mounted directly to the headstock. Can be supported by the tailstock, but basically it's on the headstock. So bowls and so on are turned basically on the headstock. Chair legs, pens, and things like that are turned between centers.
Yeah. So it's when somebody look at any piece of wooden item, they would see either a shaped item that might be like a rolling pin, but then the mortar and pestle would be turned on the headstock. So that is the faceplate side of it. The spindle side will be the rolling pin. And young people growing up into woodwork will have that opportunity to integrate wood turning into their woodwork as they go along. But again, we say it's a simple process that needs timing. Now, you had asked how far could it go? Wood turning by itself is a large industry all over the world, except in the Caribbean. There is a center for wood turning art, very large building in New York, where people go in and all you see there, large fancy bowls, artistic type of wood and things like that. So in Tobago, we could open a wood turning center. And when the tourists come, they come into the center and they see work produced by all the young people in Tobago. They could purchase, they could look at it and things like that. Tobago can be the only and first island that has a standalone wood turning center. Richard and I, we started off as hobbyists. And today, we consider ourselves, in our little small world, professionals.
Nice. Now, you also mentioned before we came on set that some of your most beautiful pieces were made by Glory Cedar from Tobago.
Yes.
And we take that. We have those trees all over the place here in Tobago, and we take it for granted.
Yes. Well, I came to an exhibition in 2018, and I saw Glory Cedar for the first time in 2018. and I took home some pieces, and I just fell in love with that wood. Very, very nice wood. And at the exhibition, you're going to see some pieces of Glory Cedar that will really amaze some Tobagonians, because people feel that wood, because it's there free, they could do what they want with it and throw it away or do something like that. That item, I don't know if he brings up something else. The item, there's an item there that is on the booklet that is a Glory Cedar item. And
well, hopefully we can probably change the CG.
Yeah, turn the cover. Yeah. So when you look at the types of wood in which that we use, Glory Cedar, I will put like maybe second on my list. I would tune in. Yeah, people will be fascinated to see how this wood that is discarded in Tobago can become an item. Now, another thing that we talk about...
But before you go there, I want you to explain a little bit more about why the Glory Cedar wood is good.
Right. Now, Glory Cedar is grown, how it grows, it has a bark, it has a sapwood, and then the core of it, what we call the heartwood. The sapwood is yellowish in color, and the core inside, while the tree is green, is gold in color. When you turn a piece of item out of that, the gold gets darkish and it contrasts. You see, the foremost item there is Glory Cedar. It contrasts with the golden part of it, and you get a beautiful two-tone out of that wood. This is the core wood that you see, that item in the middle there with the little finial at the top. If the wood turners of Tobago only concentrate on Glory Cedar, when a tourist come to Trinidad, they would want to take a piece of Glory Cedar, just the raw wood with them, because of the beauty of that wood for wood turning. The people who do woodwork, because how the trees, how it's configured growing, you do not have long stems that you could cut boards from. But the pieces are what are important to myself and Richard.
And we have so many of those trees around. I mean, every now and again, they may fall in the forest and stuff, and we can take that and use it.
Very, very much so. Wood here is like our gold mine in Tobago, that Glory Cedar. And I say so without any fear of contradiction, that once you harvest that wood in time, and this is what Richard and I have to do, we harvest trees when they fall. We don't cut down trees.
Now, we have to wrap up now, but I just want you to spend some time and tell Tobago how they can get connected with yourselves and that demonstration.
Right. Now, Richard, you want to talk about that?
Well, the demonstration will be at the library tomorrow and Friday during the day, so people can come and see and talk to us. See what it's all about and talk to us during the day.
Right, so the numbers are there on your screen. So viewers, I mean, if you are interested, and you should be interested as to how, we can capitalize on something that we take for granted here in Tobago, which is the Glory Cedar, and how we can turn that into beautiful craft, get connected with Hubbard's woodworking, and learn about wood turning. All right, so I want to thank you both for being on with us. It was a pleasure hearing about this. We're looking forward to see what comes out of it. We're looking forward to see how many young people take this opportunity and take it out there to the world. All right, viewers, that's all the time that we have for our show this morning. But I want to thank you so much for being with us, and we continue to appreciate your support. So we will see you again tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
We are people in the sun. We are beaches, we are rivers. We are melanated ones. We special and there is no denying. Tobago is number one. I am you and you are me. Together we're stronger.
Our national borders, our first step to security, but a possible access point for guns, drugs, crime. If it does not look right, do the right thing. Call Crime Stoppers anonymously. 800-8477. Report possible border crime.